is an origin reading for Sirian connection. So I have, let me see, I have 8 crystals here, and they're all kind of related actually. Well, I have a couple of nature crystals here. I believe this is my tree agate, and then this is my green fluorite here. This might be moss agate, but I'm pretty sure it's tree agate. The pictures were a little bit confusing, because when I look up moss agate, for some reason, it brings up a crystal that looks like this and like the moss agate that I have, and vice versa. And so, but this seems like tree agate. It's green. The other one is like white with some black spots or something on it. So that's got to be the moss agate. And anyway, so this is peacock ore. And I don't know how well you can see all the variations in the camera, but there's a lot of colors in it. It's got gold, blue, purple, green, red, all kinds of colors in it. And this is apparently a stone for clearing out all the chakras, actually, and it represents like heightening all of the chakras. And before, I didn't know this was peacock ore, and to me it just felt like a healing stone to me. And now that actually makes a lot of sense, since it cleanses the different chakras out. I can see why I would have felt a healing vibration from that. And then I have my crystal quartz here. Now I'm coming into the ones that have some very similar energies here. Like I said, they all kind of go along with each other. But then I have a lot of these white ones here. I'm not sure what kind of stone that one there is. This is my, this is another quartz, my quartz one. And then this, I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm supposed to look up maybe blue calcite, see what the message is for blue calcite. But then this might be celestite, and I'm not sure which one it is. I might end up looking both up. But whether or not it's blue calcite, I'm going to look up blue calcite, because I think there's kind of like I look up a totem animal sometimes. It has a message. I do the same things. I can't talk right now for some reason. I do the same thing with crystals sometimes. Okay, so what do I start with here? Okay, so I'm going to start with surrounding us in some positive energy here. Of course, I already did it once when I got the code name. So I'm going to do it a second time. I surrounded us with my green fluorite here, and I created my sacred space with the green fluorite. But this is the one that I'm using again here. So okay, surrounding you. So I've already got these guides coming up, and they were coming up during the code name too. Just bright white light, similar to the light that is coming off of my camera lights right now. Like a very white light. There is not any yellow in these lights. I have to offshoot it with a light from the ceiling above that is yellow and kind of change my settings on the webcam. Otherwise, I'm a total ghost under these lights. But that's what your guides are coming in with as well. An extreme white, like ultra white light. And they keep coming in with this Sirian connection, but at the same time, also they keep coming in with a feeling like that isn't the origin, but that is very important. And okay, I don't want to skip ahead of myself here. Okay, so the memory thing, that was one thing that started coming in during the codename, and also when I was creating the sacred space. So I'm visualizing my sphere, and like I said, I was using the green fluorite. And the green fluorite, you know, these triagate green fluorite, these are grounding crystals. And then also, so is this one. So this one is almost like in the middle. It's a higher energy and a grounding energy. And it is, this is also a focused energy. I feel that now from this crystal. Okay, and my green fluorite is just jumping off the stool. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this one. Okay, I'm gonna surround you in this green fluorite again, I think. This is a very grounding, well, stone. And I see you're almost kind of floating a little bit off the ground. But I almost get the feeling that that isn't exactly a bad thing. That's kind of a natural, just kind of energy for you to, like a vibration for you to be on just kind of naturally. And where I almost get the feeling that where you're from, there is also less gravity, even physically, there's less gravity. So there is almost this feeling of floating in comparison to here where it's more grounded. And so you do need to get more grounded, and crystals like these can help you. I use jasper sometimes to help ground me. There are a lot of different types of jasper though. I have what kind of jasper is that? I think it's a picture jasper that I have that I use for grounding, I think. Or is it, it might be a tiger's eye jasper actually. No, it's a tiger's eye jasper, I think. Okay. Anyway, though, but yeah, so I use jasper for that, and any kind of green crystal like this, it usually ends up representing some kind of nature energy, but also green is the color of the heart chakra. And the heart chakra has to do with empathy, and a lot of empaths are drawn to nature, and that's something that helps them ground. So that's another reason that a lot of times something green can represent like an earth energy, also because of the association with the heart chakra and the fact that, like I said, that is an empathic chakra, and so it does have a connection to nature as well. Okay, I'm not supposed to put this down yet. All right, so keep holding this. All right, here we go again. So I'm going to surround you again with the green fluorite. And this is a really calming energy also. A lot of these heart chakra stones can have a very calming effect or sometimes a joyful effect, but especially these green ones, green fluorite, tree agate, these tend to have a pretty calming energy, a calming effect. And I'm actually getting the feeling I don't have any kind of solar plexus energies really going on with these stones. All just white, all of like a higher energy and these grounded and calming energies. And they're specifically pointing that out. There's no kind of like solar plexus kind of energy here, like ambition, drive, and this kind of outburst of energy. It's all more kind of laid back, calm energy, and but there are higher energies at the same time coming in. And so if you balance these, this is going to have a very calming effect. However, I still get the feeling, like I said, the fact that the fact that you are less grounded is natural. And so it's not really that it's impeding you, even though I'm surrounding you a lot with the green fluorite and I'm kind of jerking. And so that's like when I'm hitting into some energy that's either blocked or it's like a stale energy that needs to come out. But and so that tells me, when you're more grounded, some of this excess energy is gonna go down into the ground. I am getting the feeling that you do have like a lot of ambition and you have like a lot of drive and passion. But at the same time, I feel like some of that is going to calm down a little bit. Um, like not true ambition, not true drive. But when you have more of it than you need, where it's not really a true ambition or a true drive, what it is this need to do a lot of things because you have this excess energy. And so that is more like a fear, which can seem like you want to do a lot of stuff, but really it is like this. It's kind of an overwhelming feeling. It's like an overwhelming energy where it has to come out, it has to go somewhere. And so this can almost be like, it can almost be like a little bit of fear. And so this can mask sometimes as excitement or even happiness, something like that. And really, it's more like anxiety and this type of thing. So that can be there, and we aren't even exactly aware of it. But this is so that is coming in that you do have some of that. Like this is actually gonna. It's like you're gonna feel more of a true security and more of a true calm state, like a still state. And still you will do things, but you'll do everything out of the right energy, and there won't be any kind of rush at all. So this is a true calm, a true calming effect, and this is going to come from balancing these two, this grounded energy that you have that is there, but also this higher energy. And actually, I don't want to say that you have a grounded energy that you have. That isn't, not that you don't have it though. Not that you don't have it, but it isn't as natural to you. So what I mean is you're going to end up balancing the energies from the earth. So a grounded energy from Mother Earth, and then also this star connection. You're going to balance the two, and this is going to have a really calming and focused effect. And part of this memory loss that you mentioned, it's almost this is almost I get almost this kind of laughing energy. I almost feel like some of this is natural too. And not all of this is bad. Even though it can seem a little overwhelming or it can seem bad, in a way, even that is kind of naturally there and it isn't really a bad thing. Um, like when I was creating the sacred space, and I start feeling these energies come in, because then I'll call the quarter guardians. I want them to guard the sphere that I've made, so only positive energy can come in. But for whatever reading I'm doing, the energies tend to vary a bit for whoever I'm reading. They're always positive, obviously, but they could be different. They could be a fairy, it could be an angel, or in this case, a whole lot of Sirian energies coming in. And not even feeling like water, really, in this case. I mean, there are different races. This didn't even feel like water to me. This just felt like this bright, blasting white light. So I don't know if they're connected to water or not, but they aren't exactly coming in that way. They're coming in the way of just this bright, brilliant, bright white light. And anyway, though, when I felt these coming in, my brain started to feel a little bit like, okay. And so, and then I remembered that memory you were saying, that memory thing you said, and I was like, well, I could see where these guides and this Sirian connection could have a little bit of a, like, almost almost stupefying effect. Not that you're stupid or something. I don't mean that. But, you know, it can have like a memory, like, what just happened? What did I just do? You know, it can have that effect. I can totally see that. Or even forgetting like the past or something. But that's not really a bad thing. You're staying in the present. Because what I kept getting from this was it felt like a focus. It felt like a focused energy. And like that's what wanted to come through, like a very focused energy where I am focusing on this one thing. And the Sirian energy is a more masculine energy. And so it has more of a driven focus than like the Pleiadian energy. This is more feminine. And so it's more like open, expanded, and abstract. So like a feminine energy would be more like a multitasking energy, seeing a lot of things at once and analyzing them all. The masculine energy has more of this drive to focus on a single thing. And the Sirian energy can also be more structured and more logical, almost rigid in a sense. That could be like a negative swing of it. But when it's balanced, that is not at all how this would seem. It would be like an intuitive logic. And so this is something that the Sirians have really developed. So it's a logic, but it's still open. I was just talking about this in a really recent YouTube reading, actually, talking about true logic is intuitive logic versus this logic that we have on Earth, which is just closed-minded to everything and totally illogical, and just wants to disprove everything rather than logically wanting curiosity, you know, blah, 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 wanting to examine something out of curiosity versus just closing off to everything. Oh, that's probably why I'm not talking that well during this reading. I'm feeling this energy just being like, you know, and ever since the beginning of this reading, like I have not been speaking correctly. That does happen to me, especially it used to. Towards the end of the reading, like especially like when I was giving like Akashic readings, but before, not so much now, that hardly ever happens, but especially before, when I was still getting more used to just like doing so many readings where I had like a backlog and everything. Um, then towards the end, I would be like, thank you for the reading. You know, it was just not coming out right. This one has been like the entire reading. I just feel like I cannot speak accurately. Um, However, I know that sounds like a bad thing. Um, however, and your guides are, I almost, yeah, I almost get this almost funny, laughing kind of energy, almost like they don't really take that seriously. But at the same time, I do feel like this is a natural state. And I feel like when it's more balanced, it's going to come out accurately and correctly. And that this, um, again, I'm getting this word logic, right? It's logic and it's focused. And so it's almost like this wants to come through your brain, and you have to balance these energies more, because when you're more grounded, this energy can actually flow through. It can flow down through earth and through this earth brain that you have. And then it's not going to, um, then it will be the natural way it is without any kind of interference. So it won't like interfere with your brain, or more like your brain interfere with it. It will just easily flow down through this current of energy. And so that's more what you're dealing with. It's a current of energy. And so it's not really surprising that you're saying, you know, I'm trying eating and this and that, and it's not really working. But if it's an energy current, then this is something that needs to be balanced out, not so much with diet, although that definitely diet can clear something, but it's not really that it needs to be cleared though. This isn't a bad thing that needs to be cleared. This is more something that needs to settle. It's like it needs to be integrated, because this is actually a natural higher energy that needs to integrate down into kind of a lower energy here. Um, and balanced with the earth energies. And obviously earth itself is not a lower energy. Even like the moon itself is not a lower energy. It's a planet. But there are definitely some things going on the moon, and the same with earth, that really lower the energy of it. So yeah, this is a thing of integration. So I have this, I want to laugh again. I have this guide coming up and just like waving like this, and just this energy just makes me want to laugh, even though it does feel logical. Like this feels like this masculine logical energy, but at the same time, it cracks me up. Okay, and it's pointing to, and it's pointing to the the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, and like with its hands, it has its hands kind of like this, next to those chakras, and it's kind of moving it, and it's basically showing me that this block of integration, a lot of it is in there. And again, he's kind of referring to like an anxiety. It might not always come out exactly like anxiety though. He's saying it might even seem like a drive. Um, like, so you might not always interpret it as anxiety. But he's saying that there's a difference between feeling to do something, or like logically knowing to do something. But I don't feel like you are like extremely logical. exactly. Um, but you have these guides around you who are, and you do have this major Sirian connection. You have had a lot of lifetimes in Sirius. You have had a lot of lifetimes there in that star system. So, especially since the way that we think of logic here on Earth is really kind of twisted and messed up. They almost don't even want you to think of them in that way or think of this in that way. But think of it like a focus, and like your drive and your passion is being focused. And he's also saying that you're being tested. Like, will you go with what you really feel? And when you go with what you really feel, you're also going to feel calm. Or no, feel or no, you're going to feel calm. Yeah, like he's laughing, but in a calm way. He feels very calm. This is not an anxious laughing at all. This is like a very calm, deep kind of laughter. He's calm and he's laughing. But he feels very centered. Even he is vibrating. I feel him vibrating a bit off the ground. And at the same time, he is calm and his energies are focused and collected and traveling down. And he still is connected to Earth, to planet Earth the way he needs to be, or the way he would need to be if he were having a life here. But in a sense, he is grounded here in the way that he needs to be to guide you, since he's doing that. And she is this just, it feels like a group to me. And I do feel like there's some other energy that isn't just Sirian, but they're not really revealing who that is yet. And this, okay, I'll get into that before I get into that. Okay, so now this family thing during the code name, one thing that came through about that was basically not that this is the reason that your family is this way, but almost the reason that you came into a family that was this way is just, again, almost like this disconnect. Because in a way there was a feeling of you almost having a disconnect from your body and a disconnect from being grounded in a sense, and that is natural, and that you almost have to respect your natural way of, like, understand who you are, and that is natural. Some of these are natural occurrences, and you're thinking of them as bad things or as wrong things, but they're you need to experience now. And some of this just has to be integrated. It has to flow down through you. And as far as this family thing, it's almost like you can see something from another angle when it's less unified, it's also less attached. You can see something from a little bit of a disconnected angle, which can actually help you. It can actually help you see things clearly. But there is almost this feeling of a disconnection to earth things, to earth realm. And it's almost like you almost bump into that a little bit. You don't let it settle and be the way it is. You want to almost control that. You want to push it around, like push it in the direction that you would want it to be versus letting it settle, letting it be, and like deciding to understand why, which would be kind of more logical actually. So logic can actually help you detach. It can help you detach from something, and then you observe it the way that it naturally is. And it doesn't hurt you or harm you. It exists with you in a way that benefits you and cooperates with you because you're cooperating with it. And then it doesn't bother you. So it's the way that it is to teach you. But I do feel like you've had lifetimes with this family. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's soul family though, especially if there's this disconnection. That doesn't mean that there wouldn't be some members who could be, but the whole thing, no. And that would be extremely rare on this planet also, to have a whole family that is soul family actually. But that doesn't mean that you can't keep learning with certain souls, even if you're not soul family. It means that you have this connection, like you have this connection while you are still learning certain things with certain people. And in a sense, with certain aspects of your own self, they're being integrated, they're being released, they're being learned from. And so you have these reflections that you choose to keep experiencing certain lifetimes with. And obviously, other souls also that aren't connected to you in this lifetime, or they're connected, but I mean, they're not showing up in this lifetime. So they're not connected to this lifetime. Okay, and so we're going a little bit over already, but so there was one last thing that I wanted to bring up, and that was, well, the origin, which they're not really getting to exactly, but I don't feel like they need to. For the reason that this was also something that came in at the very beginning while getting the code name, which was basically that this serious connection. We made a video called Resonation, Origin versus Resonation. There's this idea of your origin being the thing that you most resonate with, but you can go to another place and resonate with that even more strongly, and it's almost as if it ends up replacing, in a sense, where you originally came from. Just like someone on Earth. They can be born in France, and they don't really connect with it there, and they end up moving to Alabama or whatever, right? Africa, somewhere. And they really, really resonate with that place. Or what your guide is saying, they really fall in love with that place. That's the term your guide is using. And they want to stay there. Now, in this case, though, I wasn't getting the feeling like it actually replaced it. I was getting the feeling like it was like an equal resonation. However, even though they didn't tell me the exact origin, what they did hint at was that it was humanoid, but that it doesn't look human. This being that you started out from. You were a type of humanoid, but you really did not feel or seem human. Even there, like again, the gravity is different. A lot of things were different. And so in some ways, it's like you have to integrate with this body because from what your soul is more used to experiencing, you would need to kind of help yourself with integrating all of that higher energy down through that aspect down through you. Okay, so we've gone a little bit over here, but that's okay. So thank you very much, Sirian Connection, for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I truly hope that it has blessed you in some way. Thank you very much. Namaste.